Let's be real for a second. Have you ever been scrolling online and just felt yourself getting angrier and angrier with every post? Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. That feeling? It's probably not an accident. Today, we are diving deep into the world of rage bait, the stuff that is literally engineered to make you mad. I mean, you feel it, right? The comment sections, your feed, it all just feels like a constant battleground. But is this just how we are now, or is there something else going on here? Something deliberately pouring gasoline on the fire? Okay, so let's give this thing a name. It's called rage bait. And you gotta understand, the goal here isn't to make good content. It's to create a reaction. The whole point is to provoke you, to get you to click, to get you to type out an angry comment, or to share it with a friend and be like, can you believe this? See, in this new online world, your anger, well, that's the product. To really see how this works in the wild, one creator decided, you know what, I'm gonna try a little experiment. A small, controlled test to see if he could basically conjure outrage out of thin air. So the setup was brilliant in its simplicity. He posted a video on Instagram and TikTok talking about his so-called plans to cover up these absolutely gorgeous wood ceilings in his new house. He even threw in the idea of adding a popcorn texture, just to really twist the knife. It's just plausible enough to be real, but ridiculous enough that it should be an obvious joke. And oh, did it work. The video just blew up, completely dwarfing his other content. The comment section was an absolute dumpster fire of fury. And here's the crazy part. People were genuinely, truly angry. They completely missed that it was a joke, even though he literally said so in the description. The outrage was just too juicy to ignore the facts. The creator himself, Levi Hildbrand, said it perfectly. He hated it. He hated that it worked so well, but the results were undeniable. Making people mad is one of the fastest, most effective ways to get engagement online, period. But here's where it gets interesting. Not all rage bait is the same. It actually exists on this whole spectrum, from these kind of silly, almost harmless pranks to really sophisticated professional business models built entirely on anger. So let's break that down. We can basically sort this stuff into three main categories. At the very bottom, you've got your basic rage farmers. Then you level up to the professional supervillains, the folks who've built a brand around being hated. And at the very top, you have the algorithm gamers, who are playing a totally different game. So let's start with Tier 1 rage farming. This is the pure, unfiltered stuff. You've seen this. It's those videos of someone making a lasagna in a toilet bowl, or that trend where people would just slam gallons of milk on the floor in a grocery store. It's chaotic, it's pointless, and it's designed for one reason and one reason only: to make you look at your phone and just go, what is wrong with people? Okay, now let's level up to Tier 2. This is where rage bait stops being a prank and starts being a business. These are the supervillains, the creators who figured out that being hated can be just as profitable as being loved, sometimes even more so. They embrace being the bad guy. And I mean, look at these examples. The Paul brothers built entire empires on being the guys you love to hate. Then there's Whistlin' Diesel, who gets millions and millions of views just destroying beautiful, expensive trucks that other people would kill to own. Their whole brand is about pushing your buttons, making you mad enough to keep watching just to see what they'll do next. Now, this third tier is maybe the most fascinating: the algorithm gamers. These creators are on a whole other planet. They're not trying to build a loyal community. They're not trying to connect with an audience. They are engineering content specifically to trick the algorithm into force-feeding it to millions of random people scrolling their phones. The perfect case study is a creator named Winter Sizu. She reportedly made $150,000 from these videos where she just acts completely oblivious while some fake voiceover asks her to pay like a $600,000 restaurant bill. The videos are all the same, and they get more and more absurd. She knows that within 10 seconds, people are already furious and hammering out a comment, which is exactly what she wants. She's not making content for you. She's making content for the machine. So far, we've just been talking about individual creators. But this has gone way beyond that now. These tactics have gone corporate. We are living in what you could call a rage industrial complex, where huge, faceless companies and major brands are using outrage as a marketing strategy. A great example is the media company Jubilee. Their whole business model is basically taking the angriest internet comment thread you can imagine and turning it into a real-life game show. They find people from the most extreme ends of an argument, stick them in a room together, and just film the explosion. But here's the part that'll make your head spin. If you go to their YouTube channel, this is their official mission statement. They want to provoke understanding and create human connection. They've even said they want to be the Disney of empathy. Really. But then you look at their actual videos. Are they creating understanding, or are they just creating conflict for clicks? It's the perfect example of corporate gaslighting. They're creating the division while pretending to be the cure and getting millions of views in the process. And brands are absolutely in on this too. It's like the internet just needs something new to be mad about every day. Do you remember when Cracker Barrel put a rainbow on its logo for Pride Month? You'd think the world was ending. It turned into this huge political firestorm. Was it a genuine show of support, or was it just a calculated move to get everyone talking? It's getting harder and harder to tell the difference. A more recent and maybe even better example is that American Eagle ad with Sydney Sweeney. It was a pretty simple ad, but it started an absolute war online. One side was calling it toxic and harmful. The other side was calling it the greatest ad of all time. The internet was perfectly divided and the debate was explosive. So the big question is, did it work? Well, it's kind of complicated. American Eagle stock price jumped up 25%. Huge win, right? But their actual foot traffic in stores went down. Here's the thing, though. It almost doesn't matter. They got hundreds of thousands of dollars in free advertising from every single person and news outlet talking about the controversy. And today, attention is the most valuable currency there is. Okay, so let's zoom out. What's the actual cost of all this? Of living in this constant state of manufactured outrage? What is this doing to us, really? Well, it's creating what you might call a rage-dependent society. Our brains are just constantly being triggered by chaos, drama, and anxiety. It's exhausting. We get stressed out, our fuses get shorter, and it frays the very fabric of our society. It makes it almost impossible to have the kind of calm, nuanced conversations we need to solve actual problems. And this right here is maybe the most chilling part. This quote about that American Eagle campaign just sums it all up. When we jump into these online battles, we feel like we're critiquing something, like we're taking a stand. But in reality, a lot of the time, we're just unpaid actors. We're performing the exact role that the marketers and the algorithm gamers wrote for us. Which really just leaves us with one final, pretty uncomfortable question. In this new internet that's built on outrage, when we get angry, when we comment, when we share, are we actually expressing an opinion? Or are we all just part of the show?